Alright, we're back. We are back. I rewatched the footage. I think the guy's name was Volran, and I rewatched the flashback. Didn't really learn anything new. It's on fire. Figure out. Anyways, let's get Iron Cleaver. I realized it's a counterattack. I did read that it's a counterattack, but I wasn't sure what they meant by it. But then I read the rest of it. Activate when hit while bracing for an enemy attack. So I don't think it's a skill I'm gonna use often. But if it's cool, it's cool. Let's use it. Let's go. Let's find our people.
Niori. Shion. Damn it.
Sad music.
It's on. You're mine. You picked the wrong fight.
Oh, right. Oh, that's fairly forgiving.
No escape. Iron Cleaver. It's so.
What? I still took damage?
Strike. Strike. Take this. Try harder. Not a chance. Raining slash. Strike.
Maybe it only counters one attack. And I got hit by a second one.
Mine. Raining slash.
That's pretty horrible, to be honest.
Raining slash.
It's not often enemies only do one attack. Only do one attack.
No escape. Take this. You're mine. Here I come. This one's all mine. You're finished. Raining slash. Here I come.
That was fun. I was actually afraid this was gonna happen. I have to run around without the party. Oh crap.
Here I come.
Circular movement. Punching in the face.
Raining slash. Try harder. Here I come.
See, like none of the attacks are one-hit attacks. Still gonna get hit.
Alvin?
Finwell.
What happened just now? Normally you'd be able to take that thing with your eyes closed.
Thank goodness you're alive. Are you all right?
Yeah.
I'm just glad we found you in one piece. You were the only one still missing. There's a village back the way we came from, Thistleim. Kisara and La are already there.
Finwell. Where are we?
Ganeth Heros, Volran's realm. Remember?
Ushered by the waves straight to the enemy stronghold. A rare stroke of luck, it would seem.
Luck?
If Volran's here, that means Shion's close too, right?
Shion? Oh. Right. Of course.
Are you sure you're feeling okay? You seem a little off.
He's probably just exhausted. Let's save the catching up for when we're back at the village.
Alright. Dalim. I think we're gonna have to run Dalim as a healer for a bit. Who is this for? Retired Avenger? Windbell, alright. Holy Lands. An intermediate light art that drops a spear of light onto an enemy's head. Alright. Sure. Oh yeah, Dolim. Let's see. Solitary captivity. Laying a trap. I don't really want this guy running around beating his opponents. Let's just hold off on this.
We won.
Let's I'll just do this. Actually, air pressure, stalagmite. Yeah, we'll just remove all those melee stuff. I don't want him doing that. Can I use one of these now? Okay. Let's look at the map for a bit. Nothing to see. I mean, we're probably gonna get Xion back relatively soon. I mean, we did get some Dragon Flame Sacks, which is what we need to upgrade Xion's weapons, so. It would make sense to not reunite soon enough.
Right, here goes!
On your
Raging
knees.
cascades! In here!
Air pressure.
I'll be
Resonate
safe!
with the earth.
Light astral
Raging
energy! More where that came from! If it hides,
Take this!
just bash it out
I'm not
again!
done!
Lightning
Raining
condemned!
slash!
On your knees.
Try harder! My turn!
Illuminate the dark!
Lunar Rondo!
Air pressure.
Holy glimmer!
You're finished!
Resonate with the
Holy
earth. Stalagmite.
Take this!
Now!
Beat him!
In an instant! Impact cross! My turn!
What the?
Strike!
Resonate with the
Illuminate the
earth.
You're
dark!
mine!
Stalagmite.
Holy glimmer!
On your
Holy lance!
Air pressure.
Did we unlock everything for Renans? No, we did not. No. There we go.
Lightning condemned!
Poor crab.
Thunderblade!
Whatever the hell you are. Lobster?
Holy glimmer!
No
Holy
escape!
lance!
No escape!
On your knees.
Oh no, they've changed the...
Strike!
Illuminate the
Resonate with the earth.
Holy glimmer!
Stalagmite.
Holy lance!
Here I come!
Let's put Rinmel where she belongs. Number 3.
Galilee! In an instant! Impact cross!
Let's see, edit. There we go.
Triple win.
We have an owl nearby. I see it.
Speaking of Thistleim, it's populated by Dahnans, but they're not under the rule of any lord. Pretty refreshing, huh? The whole town was built by Dahnan defectors, escapees from elsewhere. This area's teeming with stray Zeugles, though, so heaven only knows how they managed to set up a community here. The ordeal seems to have left them understandably on edge. Kisara and La are back there right now, trying to convince them of our good intentions. Say, Alphen, it looks like you got your face back then.
Yeah. And your sense of pain, too, it would seem. Any connection?
Really? Oh, but that means...
Probably.
I wonder if Alphen's going to be okay.
Is that nice
For now,
Rinmel is?
I believe we should hold off on speculation and simply keep an eye on him.
Right.
Trying to make casual talk with him. Rinmel's voice actor is doing a very good job. Probably the best one out of the bunch. Which says a lot, because a lot of them are pretty good. And yeah, we should totally check the forest actually, it's been a while. Okay, that was not worth the time investment. One piece of mackerel. Let's go.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
Nice city. Or town, I guess. Is it even a town?
Alphen! Boy, am I glad to see you safe.
Well, did you manage to convince them we're not in league with any lord?
Yeah, eventually.
When the ship sank, I thought we were done for. Guess the world just couldn't keep us apart.
Yeah, and now we can finally go rescue Xion.
There's something I need to tell you guys first. I got my memory back.
So, what did you remember? Are you able to tell us now?
Give the man some space, Law.
I remember being up on Lenegis.
Go on.
I was abducted from Dahna. I was told if I ever wanted to return home, I'd have to cooperate. So that's what I did. Next thing I knew, they had made me into the Sovereign.
You mean to say you won the crown contest? As a Dahnan?
No. They kept me locked in a strange facility. They experimented on me, like I was nothing more than an animal. There were others, but only I survived. Of course, I wasn't really a king. The reality was that they treated me worse even than the lowest slave. The only reason I survived was because my body was able to withstand the Sovereign's power that they placed inside me.
The crest that appeared behind you on Almadria's ship must have undoubtedly been that of the Sovereign. It all makes sense now. Your affinity with the Blazing Sword, the strange powers you possess, they were all because you were the Sovereign.
Okay, but why would the Renans go out of their way to give you all that power? Just what exactly does being the Sovereign entail?
They said it was for something called the Spirit Channeling Ceremony. They taught me how to harness my power for when the big day came. As for what the ceremony was actually for, unfortunately, I never found out.
So if what you're saying about being on Lenegis is true, then maybe you really did meet Xion. After all, you said you recognized her from somewhere, right?
But Xion said she'd never seen him before. How do you explain that?
I was wrong. It wasn't Xion I knew from Lenegis. It was Naori. She was a Renan maiden they paired me with during the spirit channeling ceremony. She's the woman I kept seeing in my dreams.
A maiden? What?
Wait, so this Naori figure just happens to be the double of Xion? Bit coincidental, isn't it?
Naori's family name was Imeris.
Imeris? As in Shion Imeris?
So they're distant relatives or something? Wait, or are they sisters?
Your guess is as good as mine. All I know is it was Naori. She's the one who put the mask on me.
The mask? But why?
To keep my soul from devouring itself over the guilt. After what I did on Lenegis. Over the lives I took.
Lives? You mean you staged a rebellion?
Perhaps it was a part of this spirit channeling ceremony?
I don't know. Whatever it was that the spirit channeling ceremony was supposed to achieve, it didn't turn out as planned. I lost consciousness halfway through. By the time I came to, Lenegis was a sea of flames. I opened my eyes to see Naori there, weeping. I shudder to think of how many deaths I caused that day. Certainly more than any of these lords can claim, I'm sure.
You really expect us to believe this? First the Sovereign, then Lenegis? You couldn't possibly have done all that.
I wonder. In ancient scripture, there is tell of a terrible calamity that befell Lenegis, nearly destroying it. The restoration took years, and required the work of countless laborers.
By ancient, you mean...
It predates the crown contest, to a time before even the first Renan invasion of Dahna. More than 300 years ago.
300? But that'd make Alphen...
That's right. I'm pretty much an antique of a human being. Deep down, maybe I already knew.
Alphen...
Some hero, huh? Cooperating with the same villains who snatched me from my home, committing mass slaughter, only for it to slip my mind. Then, when I finally remember, turns out I'm so old I've got scripture written about me. So much for standing up to injustice. I've probably got more blood on my hands than all the lords combined!
Alphen, stop! Honestly, I'm not going to pretend to understand what all this means. But what I do know is that right now, you're just reacting to the shock.
Kisara.
Listen, what you really need is time. Time to process things and get your head straight. Truth be told, I think that probably goes for all of us.
What about Shion? We can't just...
I'm worried about Shion too, Law. But it's clear that Alphen's in no fit state to fight. This is Volron, remember? Even at full capacity, it's practically a suicide mission. We stay put in the village till we're ready. Okay, everyone? Take some time to think things through, okay? But remember, we're all here for you if you need us. No matter how dark things might seem, you're not alone, Alphen.
Thank you.
It's fine. All right, everyone. Let's break for now.
Alright, so didn't really explain all that much, to be honest. We already suspected Xion was connected in some way. I already suspected that... I still suspect that Alphen is a victim of circumstance, and it was Naori, or Naori, whichever is the right way to say that, was part of the cause. So this guilt he's feeling, yeah, sure. That part where he's 300 years old, that kind of just came out of the blue, dropped out of the blue. So yeah, really the most interesting thing is what happened after the ceremony started, and when he came back to his consciousness and the mask was put on. That's really the most interesting thing, but we didn't get to know any of that, so not that useful. Nothing shocking. Just the 300 years part, which is more weird than anything. Just alright. Not even sure if that's the right conclusion to jump to. Could be several more likely things that could have happened, rather than Alphen being 300 years. Anyways, it would be kind of funny if that armor and the legend attached to that armor is actually about Alphen, if it is true that he's 300 years old.
Do I even have the right to fight? Do I have the right to go to Xion's rescue? What do the others think?
Gotta say, the writing is a little bit messy here. Things just popping in out of nowhere. Not sure if it's... feels very rushed to me, but let's see. And we're gonna have another chatting session with our squad. Another half an hour of skidding. Well, you have to remember there's an owl here somewhere. Luckily it's only 4 this time, but still.
You're certainly full of surprises, aren't you?
Trust me, it's not intentional.
Sorry, that was insensitive of me. Though, there's still an awful lot I wish I could understand. Every new piece of information seems only to yield further mysteries. The truth feels just as elusive as when we first started. I am well aware of where you got your powers. But why, as a Dahnan, do you bear the same crest as the current Renan sovereign? More to the point, why choose a Dahnan for their sovereign in the first place? And then there is the Maiden, a figure so powerful, she's playing yin to the sovereign's yang in esoteric ceremonies. And yet, I've never even heard of her. Then again, this all occurred 300 years ago. What if the term sovereign doesn't even hold the same meaning as it did back then? Listen, I may be a traitor among my people, but I am still Renan, born and raised. I learned the same history, listened rapt to the same tales. And yet now I feel like there was little truth to any of it.
Speaking of which, there's something else that I remember from the spirit channeling ceremony. It used the Renis Alma.
You're certain?
Yes. Or at least that's what they called it. Only you would know if it was one and the same.
Oh, I have never laid eyes on the real artifact myself. And you never participated in a crown contest. You're not even Renan. Many mysteries lay buried in these 3 centuries past.
3 centuries is more than several lifetimes. Was I really out that long?
Well, I'm only estimating based on historical record. But all the facts would seem to point that way.
Who the hell am I?
If I may be frank, we have even bigger fish to fry than that. By comparison, the far more important question at hand is, just what does it all mean?
Frank, huh?
Sometimes, we need a little help in addressing the truth behind our pain. Not to compete over lives lost, but I suspect your count is still somewhat beneath mine.
Thanks for lending me an ear. And sorry for being a bother.
Please, no thanks are necessary. The quicker you get back on your feet, the sooner we can all get back out there.
So it seems like they're really running with this. Alphen is 300 years old. Like, it could have been an isolated incident in an isolated place. It could have been a different city that most people in Lenegis didn't know about. It could have been a research city, research facility. Like, there's a lot of things that it could have been the explanation. He literally said he passed out. He doesn't have recollection of it, but they're really running with this 300-year-old thing, huh? Anyway, if that's true, right? If it's true that he's 300 years old, as I wanted to point it out, but ooh, 11,500. Anyways, but I kind of forgot. But this crown contest that they have now might be a simplified version or an evolved version of the old process of crowning a sovereign for whatever reason, to avoid the things that happened 300 years ago. Like, maybe they changed the process for some reason. Well, not for some reason, for that reason. And the version of the contest they have now is a direct consequence of what Alphen did. Oh, well, what Naori did, I think. I don't think Alphen did it. Then the question is, like, what exactly was the purpose? If it's just for some power-hungry nonsense, it's gonna be a lame story. But if it has something to do with, like, the survival of Renans or Lenegis, then that will make the story more interesting. Because then the bad guys and good guys won't be as clear. Anyways, let's see.
What do you see out there?
Zeugles. Strays by the looks of it. We unwittingly disturbed their territory on our way here, and now they're looking pretty riled up. So, feel like you're making headway? You know, sorting through things?
All I know is Shion needs our help. As for what happens after that...
Say, how did you get back down here from Lenegis, anyway?
I came down in a Renan starship. I have Naori to thank for that.
What happened to her? Did she come with you?
She stayed behind. Just as I wanted to get back to Dahna and my people, Naori's place was with her fellow Renans, performing her duties as the Maiden. Neither of us asked for the power or roles we were given. I suppose we felt a kinship with each other in that sense. But even then...
Wait, so you mean it wasn't just Dahnans like you that Lenegis abducted? You're saying they forced Naori, one of their own, to serve against her will as well?
Even within Renan society itself, there exists a hierarchy. I don't think she was ever given the option to refuse. Despite that, she did everything she possibly could to serve her people. The very same ones I ended up slaughtering. And even after that, she still helped me escape back to Dahna. She stayed behind on Lenegis to help any of her people who survived. I owe her more than words can express. A debt left to fester for what? 300 years? How do I even begin to make up for something like that?
In all honesty, you don't. You can't atone for what's happened in the past. I don't think anyone can. Be it several centuries ago, or just yesterday.
What are you saying? That I might as well give up?
I'm saying you don't have to be a white knight in shining armor. Back after my brother had passed away, it was you who told me that his dream lived on inside me. And you did the same for him, for Dohalim, when he was ready to give up too. You were there for both of us. You know what I heard? I heard you telling me to keep fighting, to strive no matter what.
Then I was out of line. I had no right to ask that of you.
No, you're wrong. Those words were exactly what I needed to hear at the time. In fact, I would go as far as to say that I wouldn't even be here had I not heard them. Left to my own devices, who knows when I would have been able to pick myself up. Besides, it's not like killing all those people was a choice that you made of your own free will, right? The truly terrible ones are the people who abducted you. The ones who forced you to wield that power. They're the ones you should be blaming. Not only that, but that guilt you feel inside, that's all the proof you need to know you're a good person, Alphen. Do you understand? If I'm still allowed to fight and keep on living, then damn it, Alphen, so the hell are you. But if you're still not convinced, then ask yourself this. What is it that you've really been fighting for this whole time? Go on, ask yourself.
What I've been fighting for, huh?
I was laughing because I was thinking to myself, oh wow, a skit with Kizaru where she doesn't mention her brother and literally 5 seconds later she mentions her brother. I actually thought we were gonna forget one, but no. Anyways, I want to say something else as well, and this is that this story that they're talking, this conversation they're having right now, it should not be narrated to us or exposition to us like this. It's a pretty big deal, and it should be a cutscene or a playable experience. This whole, I've mentioned it before in other playthroughs, but this whole like show don't tell, or games doing the tell but not show thing is pretty nonsensical. This is a pretty big deal. Because now they just dropped a bunch of information, and it's kind of conflicting with what we've seen, in my opinion. Now they're painting this Naori as a hero, or blah blah blah. Like, this is something that we should have seen for ourselves, or experienced for ourselves, and then slowly make up our mind ourselves. It's a pretty big part of the story. But we're just being shoved, like, this stuff is just being shoved down our face. I disagree with that kind of storytelling, but... It seems like the game is rushing through this part, not really building on it, savoring it, and creating some suspense around it. It's like just shoving it down our faces.